Hey everyone, welcome back. We're diving deep today into Gary Vaynerchuk.
Gary V.
Oh yeah, Gary V. Tons of you requested this one. Seems like everyone's fascinated by his success and energy, his impact, all that.
Right.
And who isn't, really? So we've got a whole mountain of articles, interviews, even some of his books ready to dig into.
Oh, wow.
But we're going deeper than just, listing off his accomplishments.
Yeah.
We really want to get WHY. He's become such a phenomenon. Like, what makes him tick? What can you actually learn from his journey?
What's really interesting to me is, he's this digital marketing guru, right? But his background's kind of old school.
Yeah, the wine guy.
Exactly.
I'll admit, the first time I heard about Gary V, I was like, wine? What's that got to do with social media and startups?
Total contrast, isn't it? But that's actually where he started. Took over his family's liquor store, wine library.
Okay.
This is back when e-commerce was just getting going. And get this, he used early online marketing, email lists, YouTube videos, to connect with customers. Grew the business from 3 million to over 60 million in just a few years.
Whoa, hold on. That's some serious growth.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just like throwing up a website and hoping for the best, right?
Yeah.
He was doing some pretty innovative stuff.
Oh, absolutely. He got it. Building a brand online wasn't just about selling. It was about building a community. One thing he did, these daily wine reviews on YouTube. Think about it. Early 2000s. Who's doing video for wine?
Yeah, that's ahead of the curve. But so did that actually work? Were people buying wine based on these videos?
They were. And it's because he gave real value, not just pushing products,
Yeah.
Educating people about wine, making it fun.
I see.
Built trust, a loyal following. People felt like they knew him, like he was a friend, giving them honest recommendations.
Yeah.
And email marketing, he was early on that too. Built a massive email list, people waiting for his daily picks, his deals. So direct communication plus those engaging videos, he was way ahead.
That's the insight right there.
Yeah.
It's not just that he grew the business, it's how he did it.
For sure.
He saw the potential of these digital tools before most people even knew what they were. And that takes us to his next big thing, right? Digital marketing, personal branding.
Mm-hmm.
The guy is practically content creation itself these days.
Right.
Any social media platform, there he is, pumping out content like it's, well, I guess his job.
It is.
And here's where that jab, 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 right hook comes in.
Oh, yeah, that one.
But a lot of people get that wrong, I think. They hear right hook, they think it's all about, being aggressive, pushing your product.
Mm-hmm.
So break it down for us. What are all those jabs really about?
It's all about giving value. Before you ever ask for anything back,
Okay.
think of it like building a real relationship. You wouldn't just walk up to someone and be like, buy my thing.
Well, I mean, maybe if it was lemonade on a hot day, but I get your point.
Exactly. So the jabs, they're about trust, showing you're an authority, that you actually care about helping people.
Right.
Could be a helpful Instagram tip, a smart LinkedIn article, a funny TikTok, anything that gives real value,
Makes sense.
Gary understood, in a world full of content, the key is to give real value, not just more noise.
Yeah.
So you establish that trust. You've given, then you can land the right hook. That's your offer, your product, your call to action. And people are way more likely to respond because they already see you as the go-to person.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
It's about genuine relationships, not just transactions. And that's something anyone can use, whether you're building your own brand, promoting a business, just trying to connect online,
Absolutely.
It's a powerful idea.
Yeah, for sure.
And what's fascinating to me is this whole jab, 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 right hook thing.
Yeah.
It's not just about marketing tactics. It's kind of how he approaches, everything. Life, business, the whole deal.
Okay, let's dig into that.
Yeah.
Especially the long game part, because that's where things get really interesting,
Yeah.
because we live in this instant gratification world. Everyone wants to be, an overnight success.
Mm-hmm.
But Gary V, he's preaching something different.
Totally. He's always reminding people, real success, it takes time.
Yeah.
It's patience, persistence, being willing to delay that gratification.
Which is hard, man, when you're scrolling through Instagram, seeing everyone else's highlight reel,
I know, right? It's so easy to get caught up in that comparison game. It's
Sure.
why am I not there yet? But Gary V's point is you're only seeing a tiny slice of someone's journey, not the years of work, the setbacks, all that.
He's got that quote, right?
Mhm.
Where he says, if he could go back and tell his younger self one thing, it'd be to chill out.
Yeah. Kind of ironic coming from the hustle guy. But it's not that he's against hard work. It's about understanding that success is a marathon,
Okay.
not a sprint. Like a runner's got to pace themselves. Entrepreneurs, creators, they need that sustainable rhythm too. You can't burn out.
Makes sense. It's about that balance, pushing yourself, but also like taking care of yourself, mental, physical, the whole deal.
Totally. And this ties back to his whole self-awareness thing, right?
Yeah.
Know your DNA, he says. Strengths, weaknesses, passions, what you're willing to sacrifice, what's non-negotiable.
So it's not just copying someone else's like success formula.
Oh, wait.
It's figuring out what works for you.
Yeah, what makes you tick.
What do you actually want?
Right. And then making your actions match those values.
Okay.
That self-awareness. It's huge for making decisions, setting goals, dealing with the ups and downs, all the stuff that comes with building something new.
For sure. He also talks a lot about gratitude, which can sound kind of, woo-woo in the business world.
Yeah, I get that.
But I think he's onto something.
Gratitude is powerful, especially when things are tough. It's about focusing on what you do have, not what you're lacking.
I remember reading, he starts every day writing down 10 things he's grateful for.
It's such a simple practice,
Yeah.
but it can really change your whole mindset. Makes you more positive, helps you appreciate the journey, even the rough parts.
It's like he's saying, enjoy the ride, even the bumps.
Exact.
And that mindset, man, that's got to be essential for anyone who wants to build something that lasts, something meaningful.
For sure. And for someone who's achieved so much, he's surprisingly open about his failures.
Yeah, that's refreshing.
Doesn't shy away from talking about his mistakes, what he's learned.
So many people, especially in the entrepreneurial world, they try to project this image of like perfection.
Oh, yeah, like they've never messed up.
But Gary Vee, he's like, look, I screw up too. It's part of it.
Right. Embraces those failures, sees them as like learning opportunities.
Uh-huh.
And he shares those lessons, which makes him so relatable,
Totally. Like he's saying, hey, we all mess up. What matters is you learn from it and keep going.
Yeah.
It's something anyone can connect with, whether you're just starting out or you've been doing this for years.
Absolutely. And it goes back to that long game idea.
Right.
Success isn't a straight line. There's going to be setbacks, challenges, times you want to quit.
Oh, yeah.
But it's about resilience, grit, that determination to keep going, even when it's tough.
He's always talking about those early investments he made, Facebook, Twitter, Uber.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He's got that knack for spotting potential.
He does.
But it wasn't just luck, right? There was some method to it.
Oh, totally. He's got this amazing ability to see trends, understand where things are going. He looks for businesses that are solving real problems, ones that have the potential to disrupt whole industries.
So for those of us who aren't, venture capitalists, what can we learn from that?
It's about paying attention to what's new, what's emerging,
Okay.
understanding how people behave, being willing to think outside the box.
Be curious, ask questions, keep learning. Right.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to take risks. Calculated ones, of course.
He says, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Classic Gary Vee.
Right.
He's all about action, experimenting, learning by doing. Even if it's not perfect, get it out there. Start building, creating.
Which brings us to his latest thing, right?
Yeah.
Web3, NFTs. A lot of people are still trying to wrap their heads around all that.
Yeah, it's new territory for a lot of folks.
So what's driving his, fascination with this stuff?
He sees Web3 as this, fundamental shift in how we use the internet.
Good.
It's about decentralization, ownership, putting power back in the hands of individuals.
Interesting.
And NFTs, he sees them as more than just digital collectibles. It's a whole new way to build communities, connect with fans, create value online.
I'll be honest, I'm still catching up on all the Web3 NFT stuff.
It's a lot.
But the possibilities are pretty fascinating.
They are. It's a fast-moving space. But Gary Vee, he's all about being early, experimenting, figuring it out as he goes.
Yeah.
And he encourages everyone else to do this. Don't be afraid to dive in,
Right. Not being afraid of the unknown, figuring it out along the way.
Yeah.
And that's a powerful lesson, especially in today's world where everything's changing so fast. You got to be able to learn, adapt, embrace the new stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
One thing that sets Gary Vee apart is that, raw energy he has.
Oh, yeah.
He's unapologetically himself, even if it means being loud. A little controversial sometimes.
He's definitely got that unique voice, a way of connecting with people.
Yes.
It's on another level.
It's real.
And that's part of his appeal, right?
Mm.
He's authentic, passionate, doesn't sugarcoat things.
Not trying to please everyone, not afraid to ruffle some feathers. But it always comes from a key place. He wants people to succeed. And sometimes that means, Tough love, challenging people's assumptions.
And that passion, that energy, it's contagious, man.
It is. Makes you want to get up and do something.
He's a master motivator.
Yeah.
Makes you believe anything's possible if you put in the work.
And he backs it up with real examples, people who've done amazing things following his advice.
It's not just talk. He walks the walk.
Right.
And it all comes back to those core messages, right?
Mm-hmm.
Provide value, build relationships, play the long game.
Mm-hmm.
But in a world that's constantly like bombarding us with information distractions, how do we actually do that?
It starts with being intentional with your time, your energy. What are you focusing on? Who are you hanging out with? Are you actually doing stuff that matches your goals, your values?
It's about cutting through all the noise, focusing on what matters.
Which is so hard these days.
It is.
But it's essential if you want, real success, real fulfillment.
So as we move into the final part of this deep dive into Gary Vee, let's talk about how to take these ideas and make them real in our own lives.
Let's get practical. Strategies, action steps, things you can start doing today.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about Gary Vee. Wine, content, the future of the internet, all of it. But now, let's get practical. How do we take all this inspiration and turn it into, actual action?
One thing that always strikes me about Gary Vee, he's not just talking. He's a doer, constantly experimenting, building, putting those ideas to work.
He's all about execution, right?
Totally. And I think that's where a lot of people, they get stuck. They have the ideas, but taking that first step, putting yourself out there, risking failure.
Yeah, that's scary.
It is. It is. But Gary Vee's whole thing is, so what? Embrace the criticism. Get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Right. That's where the growth happens, right?
Exactly. Outside that comfort zone.
But, okay, how do we actually do that? Overcome the fear, take action.
Start small. What's one thing you can do, today, to move towards your goal?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be huge. Create a social media account, write a blog post, reach out to someone you admire, just something.
And that momentum.
Yeah, one small action leads to the next, and suddenly you're making progress. He talks about documenting, not creating, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Share your journey, the good, the bad, the behind the scenes, the lessons learned.
People connect with that realness.
They do. So don't wait for perfect. Just start putting yourself out there.
Share the process, the ideas, the passions.
You'd be surprised who resonates with it.
And don't be afraid to ask for help, right? Connect with people, build those relationships, find mentors.
Oh, huge. Gary Vee's big on community, collaboration.
A network is your net worth, right?
Exactly. The people around you, they can make all the difference.
So let's go back to that providing value thing. Sounds good, but how do we actually do it?
Think about the people you want to reach, your audience. What are their problems? What are they struggling with?
Yeah.
Then create stuff that offers solutions, content, products, services, whatever it is.
So understand your audience, their needs, their wants, and make something that genuinely helps them.
Right. It's not about being pushy. It's about being a resource, someone they can trust.
And value doesn't always have to be like a physical thing, right?
Nope. Could be advice, encouragement, connecting them with someone who can help.
So those jabs again, giving value, building those relationships, playing the long game.
It all ties together.
But how do we even know what kind of value to give? There's so much out there. How do we stand out?
That's where knowing yourself comes in. What are you passionate about? What are you really good at?
Yeah.
What's your story, your perspective, your unique voice?
Gary Vee would say, double down on your strengths.
Exactly. Find that thing that sets you apart. Lean into it.
Don't try to be everything to everyone.
Focus on what you do best. Let your personality shine through.
Authenticity, that's what people connect with.
Totally. And don't be afraid to experiment, try new things, push your boundaries, see what works.
The digital world's always changing.
You got to adapt, be willing to evolve. Gary Vee's not afraid of failure. He embraces it.
Fail fast, fail often, but don't fail forever.
Yeah.
There you go. It's about learning, getting back up, coming back stronger. Anyone who's building something new, a business, a project, even a new habit, that's so important to remember.
Don't let fear hold you back. Embrace the mess-ups. That's how you grow.
So after this whole deep dive into Gary Vaynerchuk, what's the one thing we want our listener to walk away with?
Action. Don't just listen and then go back to the same old routine.
Yeah.
Take a step today, right now, towards that goal, that dream, that vision you have. What's your first jab going to be?
That's a great challenge. You don't have to have it all figured out. Just start.
One step at a time.
As Gary Vee would say, you got this.
He'd definitely say that.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, everyone.
I hope you got something out of it.
We hope it was insightful, inspiring, maybe even a little life-changing.
Keep learning, keep growing, and keep diving deep.
See you next time.